No, no, no. React is much better. Really, Facebook did React. Facebook is great, so you should learn the React. There's virtual DOM going on, so React is the best thing ever. No, no, you should use Angular. AngularJS, come on, it's made by Google. It's so great. You do amazing things. And you don't even know what Angular is. You don't even have like any clue with how that thing works. But since everybody says it's great, then you also think it's great. And you go there and you study and you implement your application. So are we really evolving? I'm not sure. We are always like getting the newest framework, and I don't know if it's just like implementing everything like for no reason, right? Why are we doing such thing? Why are we switching technologies? What is the reason behind it? Are we delivering a better experience for the user, or is just a new technology layer just to make us like, happier, or just to feel us like, oh, I'm following the trend? I don't know. You know, my idea of this talk is that we live like this. You know, like, oh my God, so many crazy stuff going on the web. Like, it's such amazing times. You know, the web is evolving really fast, and I'm gonna try to show you why it's happening like this. Let me hide this. Oops. So in the HTML5, in the HTML side, lots of things changed, right? So there's a lot of people that don't like to write HTML at all. You know those angle brackets? They hate how you need to type those angle brackets all the time. So the Ruby community, for example, they created Haml, a new way of writing HTML. It's great. Some people like it. In the Node.js world, they created this template language called Jade, which is basically a different way of writing. You know, you write as you were ready. JavaScript or something similar like that, and then you compile it and transform it to HTML. Nice. Some people like it. And then, like, you have all these new ways of writing HTML. You have all those new templating languages, Velocity and whatever, and HTML5 came. You know, and when HTML5 came, everything changed, right? Now we have clients that doesn't even know what HTML5 is, but they come to you and say, "Hey, we need an HTML5 website." Why? And what's the difference between an HTML5 and an HTML4 website? Is it the doc type, like that first line that defines what type of your document is? Or is it because you're using a new API? What is an HTML5 application, you know? And many people don't know how to differentiate that. But HTML5 came with such huge marketing behind it, and it simply changed everything. You know, many other technologies died because of that, you know? Who's using Silverlight nowadays? I don't know. Who's using Flash? I don't know. And like, you can create crazy stuff with HTML5. So my first HTML5 experiment was this. Let me go there. It's called Worms. Oops. So this is just like a particles example. It's nice. You can go here and you click generate, and you have all these particles going on, and you can like change the colors. You can change the speed of it. And maybe if I make this a little bit bigger, you can see this sidebar here. So I could like upload something from my desktop to this really crazy application, and like a Liferay logo. Sounds good. So I can put this Liferay logo. Oh my God, it's so crazy now. Oops. And then you can like change that. Let me change the speed of it, and you have like this crazy new tags that came to HTML5. You know, you have like Canvas, you have WebGL. You can create 3D stuff on your web application. You can make things that you never thought that you could be doing on the web, things crazy like that, or other things. And this is pretty nice, right? Here's the Liferay logo. So you can do crazy things with HTML5, that's for sure. And CSS also introduced lots of new stuff. There are people that realize that CSS had many things to change. You know, you have to repeat all those code colors all the time in your application. you want to have functions, you want to reuse better your code. So there are initiatives like Glass, which is for Node.js. You also have the SAS language, which we use in Liferay, which is a version that it began on the Ruby community. And you can create variables, you can create functions in CSS, you can do lots of crazy stuff. There's also styles, which is pretty much the same thing. And CSS3 also came with many, many things. There was such a huge amount of news on CSS3. You can do animations, you can do transitions, you can do so many stuff. You can also create and draw a whole application of CSS. This is another experiment that we made, which is like really useful as the other one, which is called old radio. And this is old radio. It's just this old radio. And all you can see here, you cannot see because it's too low, but all you can see here is it's drawn by CSS. So, and you can also play this radio. So it's really crazy that you can draw everything. Like the lights are too bright, so you can see. You cannot see too much things, but there's like a reflection on the radio. All the buttons were drawn only with code. There's not a single image in this whole application. So you can like tell the power of it because this is crazy. You can change the music, and it's really crazy. You can do with CSS3 nowadays. And same with JavaScript. With JavaScript, like JavaScript was that language that everybody says that it was the worst thing that was ever invented. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, everybody was saying that JavaScript is the worst invention. Why? JavaScript is just a toy language. Why we should care about JavaScript? JavaScript is like, yeah, if you do JavaScript, you're like that guy that you put like in the corner of your room. You don't give attention to that. And lots of people realized that they couldn't make changes to JavaScript. They couldn't make it better. There is an initiative called Dart, which is a different way of writing JavaScript, and they have a better engine for it. So there are things like that. You maybe recognize another one called TypeScript. This one is from Microsoft. There's also CoffeeScript, which is pretty popular, and it's a different way of writing JavaScript, and many people use it. But suddenly, JavaScript is the new kid on the block. JavaScript is now if you're doing things in JavaScript, that's the best way to do, Because I don't know what happened, but suddenly JavaScript is nice again. And this is nice. And there's many reasons why this happened. One of the reasons, Node.js. Now you can run JavaScript on the server side, and you have this promise that you have one code that runs both in the client side and both on the server side. This is great. And you have ECMAScript 6, which is the specification of the JavaScript language, and many improvements were made to ECMAScript. So now you can have classes, things like that. All developers always wanted in JavaScript because they couldn't get how prototype worked. But maybe the most important thing that changed all and made this whole shift in the JavaScript language was V8. And not many people attribute its popularity to V8. But V8 made possible things like that old radio, things that like that worms, which is like lots of things going on, lots of process, lots of image rendering going on, and make that really, really fast. And you can create crazy things with JavaScript, like Tracking.js. So Tracking.js is a project that we created. It was created by Eduardo, and lots of people helped him in this meantime, which is basically this face recognition library that you can navigate in places like this. You can detect your face and integrate with a 3D environment, and you can do interactions like this. You can detect colors. You can do many crazy stuff. So none of this would be possible if we were using different stuff. Like if we didn't have the whole marketing on top of HTML5, the lots of performance improvements made in V8 and made in the other JavaScript engines, none of this would be possible. But how Liferay fits into this new environment? There's lots of things going on the web, lots of changes. You know, it's just impossible to keep up with everything that's being launched every day. It's just impossible. And we have many initiatives in the front end and the web development side. What about Alloy UI? It's a project that has been on Liferay for a while, and many things have changed in this project. You know, and suddenly we had this recent announcement from YUI saying, from Yahoo, which is the project that we depend on, saying, hey, we're not going to continue YUI anymore. So we relied on the project a lot, and then this notice came. Of course, we were prepared for it. We knew before it came, but it was a notice that no, now we're not using this framework anymore. What move should we do? What step is the best one to fit all the needs of our developers, all the needs of our clients, all the needs of your community? And then we decided for the next version to use jQuery. And this was an easy decision because, you know, jQuery is just the Justin Bieber of the web. So everybody loves jQuery, so no problem. It's really popular and everybody likes to use jQuery. And this is coming. If you want more information about that, there's a blog post from Nate on Liferay blog. So there's many things going on right now. You know, moving Alloy UI to jQuery is just one of those things. What about web components? Lots of people think that web components is the future of the web. Web components is basically this set of W3C specifications. So it's not a technology that a certain company is driving. It's just the specifications that are going to run the web. So under this umbrella, we have the custom element specification, where you can define your own HTML tags. This is really nice. You can also import different HTML files, and you can also have the shadow DOM, which is encapsulating code in a certain tag. This is nice too. So I created this really silly 8 web components for this presentation. It's a tag, so with web components you can create your own tag. You can define a carousel tag. You can define a model tag. You can pick all those UI components that you think that can be reusable and put it on an HTML tag and make it much simpler for other people to consume that. So I've made this Liferay rocks tag, and I don't know what this tag can do. Maybe we can put some crazy things that are happening, crazy things that we have APIs nowadays to handle. So let me just show before the code of this tag. So this is my page. I have a doc type, I have HTML tag, I have a body, and I have the Liferay rocks tag. That's the only thing I have. So if you turn off the lights, please. And then you can have some crazy behavior like this, like, oh my god, now it's everything blink. Can you turn it on again? I'm not doing it. So with web components, you can encapsulate crazy stuff like detecting the light of an ambient. This is the ambient light API being used in this web component. So, oh my god, what's happening in the web? Come on. You know, and as I said, lots of people think that web components change the way we develop for the web because it's much more reusability in our components and everything. As you could see, like from yesterday and from today, we are really focusing on modularity in Liferay. Not only in the back end with OSGI, but also in the front end with technologies that are not available for all browsers nowadays, which is web components, but we are driving these new technology. We are helping to embed it. Nowadays, you have two main projects that run web components. One is Xtags. This was developed by Mozilla. And the other one is Polymer, which is developed by Google. So these are the main projects that are driving web components nowadays. We realized that people would suddenly want to consume other web components. People would want to see the web components that other people develop. So we created this project last year. It's another open source project that we made in Liferay. It's called customelements.io, and it's a web components gallery. We launched it, and nowadays we have more than 600 elements. Lots of people from many different parts of the world are using it. On the website, we have more than 200,000 page views, so there's a lot of people interested in using other web components. And this is like just the beginning. In 1 year, 2 years, when this technology is much more robust, this number will grow insanely. And all that, those projects that I mentioned to you, like Xtags, which is approved by Mozilla, they decided that, okay, customelements.io will be our default gallery. Same as Polymer, the project from Google recommends you to put your web components on customelements.io, a project that Liferay made. We also realized that, so since this is a new standard, lots of things going on, it's better if we evangelize best practice, we show articles, we give people content and highlight the nice things that are going on web components. So again, we got together with Google, Mozilla, and Opera. We made lots of meetings with them, and we launched webcomponents.org recently. It's a really nice project too. So there's a lot of things going on. We made lots of improvements on Ally UI. We made lots of improvements in the web components world. And with single-page apps, we also believe that this is a really nice way to develop applications. We developed this project called Senna. If you were on Ian's talk yesterday, you probably heard more about it. But it's a single-page application library that we made. And we are really proud of it because it dramatically changed and improved the performance of Liferay. So this is a video that shows Senna running. So this is Liferay portal before running Senna. So there's a counter over there. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, we have this application, and when I click on a link, we have all those resources needing to be downloaded. So it's been like 15 seconds already. You still have lots of images because websites have lots of images, so you need to download everything. So it took like 24 seconds. So we applied Senna and we decreased the internet, and we had the same page loading in 6 seconds. So this time difference is just insane. And we truly believe that this way of developing things, developing apps, using the single page application model structure, and by using Senna, you have like a dramatic change on your performance. We launched Senna as an open source project, as everything we do. It nowadays has like 900 stars on GitHub, which is a number that we are really proud of, even because if you compare to Liferay, the Liferay portal project, which has like 10 years, it has 600 stars on GitHub. And if you think about it, it's like really weird, right? Why like this really small JavaScript library has more stars than the whole Liferay portal, which is a much better, like there's no conferences about Senna, but there's this thing going on the Liferay portal. So why is this happening? We realized that the environment changed, the way you evangelize projects changed, so we need to change that also. Like so many things change on the development workflow. Like how long do you take to put a Liferay portal into production? We have like many different tools to help you accomplish that like really fast. But how long does it take? Is it like a week, a month, a year? How long does it take to put a Liferay project on production? Since the moment that you clone the project until you push it to the server. Nowadays you have initiatives like Startup Weekend where people develop a whole company, like a whole website in 24 hours or 54 hours. So how can we accomplish the same thing? This was a question that Eduardo and Ray were thinking, and they put a lot of thought into that in the last engineering retreat that happened here in Spain. So how can we improve that? They had this question in their heads, and how can we make the whole workflow for developers be much faster, much better? So they came up with this idea called Launchpad. We don't know if this is the name that is going to be like branded. There's a lot of things that are particular to this idea. This is a new vision that we want to introduce. We want to introduce like RESTful APIs, routing systems, auto device, lots of different things. I'm going to explain some of them. So dynamic storage nowadays, we have Service Builder, which is great. It's really nice. You can put the entity name. You can map the columns of your entity. What's the type of everything. If you want to change something, you need to go to the service util, update that, and then you need to deploy your service again, and you need to restart your Tomcat server. And if you are going to update that like lots of time, maybe this is a workflow that we could improve. So what if we had like just a folder called calendar, like just a folder called models, and you put this JSON file into this folder, and it already deploys to you? That would be really nice. It's something that we could possibly do. What if we introduce more real-time stuff? We don't want the user to be reloading the page all the time. What if we could create a page that if something happens on a client, the other client is notified at the same time? So this is something that we are also putting a lot of thought and effort into that. RESTful APIs. Nowadays you have the JSON Web Service, which is really, really cool. You have like you can basically access a Java method by clicking on a URL, and you can pass parameters to this URL. But maybe you forget like how are the parameters you need to put it, which are each one of them. Maybe we can do it better. Maybe if we had like RESTful API that you just put your model and it updates the REST layer for you, this is something that could also be fine. The routing system. Nowadays we have the render URLs, which is great because you can define exactly what is going to be rendered on that page. But then we ended up having this huge URL that is not like a human way to consume that. Maybe we could improve such thing too. So maybe we could have something like a routes.txt file where you can define the HTTP method and what's exactly the action path that is going to be executed by accessing this URL. And we also want to provide multi-device interactions. If we have an application, you want to be able to run it in other environments. And I'm not just saying make it responsive or making like mobile first. I'm saying providing the tools you need to build it for Firefox OS, to build it for Chrome OS, to build it for any different platforms. And we also want to, and this is like a really big focus for us, is to improve the developer workflow. We want to integrate our tools with Gradle. We want to put things like Gulp for Node.js developers. We want to put like really nice ways of having code coverage and unit testing right from the beginning so you can start really well. And of course, we want to support all those frameworks. If you want to use Angular, if you want to use Backbone, doesn't matter. If, like, all those frameworks are really nice. And we could put any of those on Liferay nowadays. Like, oh, Angular is the big thing nowadays. We could put Angular on Liferay. This would be nice for the clients. Lots of people would be happy about that. But tomorrow there's a new framework, and the other day there's a new framework. So what we want is to have this UI agnostic for you that you can build and you can improve. And you know, the first conference that I attended, I had this really, really expert friend of mine. He was really good in PHP. And at this conference, Rasmus Lerdoff, which is the creator of PHP, was there. And my friend said, hey, like everybody's saying that Django is the next thing, Python is the next thing, and I really like PHP, what should I do? That's what he asked to Rasmus. And Rasmus answered, you know, geeks love to fight. There's always a better tool, and there's always a better framework, there's always a better part solution, there's always a better X, you know. That's the way geeks act, you know. Oh, my Android phone is not as good as the new iPhone. So it's always like that. But the thing is, we truly believe that the success of an app does not depend on a certain tool, but how this tool is applied. So at Liferay, we want to provide you all of this environment, all this workflow for you to build on top of it and to make like crazy things and to make like really successful applications and portal solutions. We have this launchpad idea, and we don't know if this is going to be the final name. We don't know if this is going to be the last features that we're going to implement, if things will change, but we are truly trying to empower developers. We want to be able to create Liferay projects in a week, or in 24 hours, or in a minute, like we're doing with Liferay sprints. That's what we want. Since the time that you clone the project until you push it to the cloud, that's what we want to achieve. By doing that, we think that we can maybe attract new developers, not only people that have Java background, but people that have like Ruby background, Python, whatever the language is. We want to attract new developers to this community. And we also think that we can attract new industries. Why agencies are not using Liferay so much? Why we can't attract new and small businesses? Why they prefer faster solutions? Startups. We could be tackling that kind of problem too. And you know, this is like a really big step for us. We are stepping out from our comfort zone, and it's a really different thing for us. We have been doing Java portals for 10 years, and it's been working really great. And we are going to continue doing that. We're not shifting our whole business model. We're not doing that. What we want to do is bring a new vision. We want to go outside, see what's happening in the community, see all those new tools that have been like brought to developers, how they are being such like really productive. And we want to grab those tools and bring to our environment and help you guys to create new things. And it's really nice because like we want to go where the magic happens. And you are doing pretty much the same thing. You could be like at your home or at your work right now, but you step out from that, you came here and you are listening to all those new things that are coming. But you know, to really reach where the magic happens, I think we can do that together. And that's it. Thank you very much.
¿Alguna pregunta rápida para Zeno? Bueno, en cualquier caso va a estar por aquí todo el día de hoy, se puede coger en cualquier momento y preguntarle. Tenemos ahora una pausa de 5 minutos, ¿de acuerdo? Para poder hacer el cambio de sala. A partir de ahora ya nos dividimos en 2 tracks. Aquí vamos a continuar la siguiente sesión con Mobile First Design, para el desarrollo de aplicaciones móviles, desarrollo, responsivo para aplicaciones web. Y en la sala de negocio, en los 2 tracks, van a ver acerca de por qué y cómo debemos